Good evening, everybody. It's Valerie Ling here. I'm coming to you live this evening, having spent a whole day today with a group of people whom I'm very, very passionate about. It was a conference bringing together professional helpers as well as clergy and pastoral staff into one room to talk about the issue of how to stay resilient and endure in ministry. A good evening, Kim. And I actually put in a plan of action today, which was to head to the gym at, I've never done this before, Kim. I actually went to the gym at 6 a.m. and I was pleasantly surprised by the number of people who were in the gym at 6 a.m. And had a time to just put in the exercise first because I knew that by the time I finished today, there was no way I was going to have motivation to go out and exercise. Just realizing I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse shirt here. There's a fantastic picture of Walt Disney holding hands with Mickey. Have you seen that one, Kim, before? It really, really moved me when I saw that. It's a figure in Disneyland, I think is where I saw it, of Walt Disney holding Mickey's hand. You're going to the gym tomorrow. Good on you, Kim. It's hard work. It's really, really hard work. I'm just coming to, I think, share a little bit about my experience today. I was particularly moved today because what I saw was a coming together of sorts of people who have heard painful stories from from clergy who have burnt out, and also clergy who themselves who have experienced difficult things in their world. And I think for me, it was just a testament to the power of people getting together and actually saying and normalizing that life does get difficult. We can't escape that. We can't avoid that. So one of the things I talked about today quite a bit is that we're going to feel anxious and we're going to want to avoid some things, or we may want to simplify the picture for ourselves. And when I say simplify, what I mean is, don't take on particular tasks because we're afraid we're not going to cope very well, or to reduce our exposure to anything that's going to make us feel worried or anxious or unsure about ourselves. And it was a great way for us to come together and actually say that's just being human. It's a myth. There are no superhumans. The mask that we put on ourselves to actually look like we've got it all together, to look like we're happy on the outside. It's a myth that any one of us will go through life with the ability to sail through and not experience any hardship. But I think one of the positive things was I presented with two other therapists, another organizational psychologist, and also someone from the Family Systems Institute here in Sydney. And I think one of the wonderful things that came out of the conference was the message again that we can actually grow. There is such a thing called post-traumatic growth, for example, where we can actually come out, acknowledge that we've got the wounds and the scars and the hurts, but we can stand up with the help of one another. Not negating it and saying that didn't happen, or you're ridiculous or silly to feel that, but actually acknowledging and saying, of course you would feel that. Why wouldn't you feel that? But coming together, picking ourselves up together, and actually learning from our experiences as an individual, trying to figure out, okay, what are some of the things that I might have learned that brought about this situation, or what can I now figure out about how I'm going to stand up again after this incident has happened. And also, I think it was about, for me, hey Kathy, thanks, you love my message, thanks Kim. It was also, I think, about the power of a group of people coming together and saying, we don't want this to keep going on, that we hide in secret spaces and we cry in secret spaces and we feel the shame of, feeling like we've somehow failed. We want to actually come together and say, no, it's actually all part of the growth process. It's all part of coming out of this experience and saying, okay, we pick up and we keep moving. One of my fears or one of my concerns about the resilience movement in burnout thinking, particularly in conferences where you're speaking about very general material, and one of my concerns is that the message that comes across is that the individual not so much has to suck it up, but the whole weight of actually getting out of burnout or avoiding burnout lies squarely on the shoulders of just looking at things from an individual perspective. Sleep more, exercise more, your coping statements and all of that. It's actually not just about resilience. It's actually about the relationships that we have with the people that we're working with, that we're serving, the values and the ethos and the responsibilities that we have as an organization, actually, to keep the people who give their time to work and serve, to make sure it is a safe environment, to make sure that it is a mentally healthy, welcoming environment, to make sure that there is clarity in what we do, that we do provide feedback. The way that we give feedback is thought about, and that there are intentional ways for which we can actually honor and respect the people who work for us and with us. I think that's a really important thing to consider, and I was very happy that we were able to touch on quite a few of these dynamics in a really helpful and positive way today. So I'm going to sign off now. I've got my feet up. I'm actually in my room. This is actually one part of my jammies. That's okay. I don't mind. I'm actually going to just chillax right now. Good night. See you later. Kathy, I will see you soon.